Let's listen to Music of the Night, Kobinja's request. I'm glad you could be here for it this time. Let's hear it. Ramin Karimloo.
Night time sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses.
Okay. So unpacking a lot that's happening in the beginning. So Ramin Karimloo, as Kobinja nicely explained, in musical theater is done Raoul, Phantom, Enjolras from Les Mis, the Phantom, again, Phantom's 25th anniversary Phantom, Jean Valjean and Les Mis, all over the world. The original Phantom from Love Never Dies, which is the sequel to Phantom of the Opera on West End. Huge, illustrious career. I love the way he starts out singing by doing this like creepy, shaky sound, right? This character is not an actual ghost. This character is not an evil creature. This character is someone who is incredibly ashamed to be out in public by this disfiguration on their face and lives through this pursuit of perfection in music, which he finds in Christine right here. And this song is all about that struggle that he has. Music of the night, the power of the music of the night, and realizing his sort of sick fantasy, well, maybe not necessarily a sick fantasy, but his fantasy, right? And the way he approaches it vocally, this man perfectly, creates this character with this shaky, hesitant beginning, representing that mask that he wears to cover up his deformity. And then going into this pure, beautiful, not even a macho man sound, which he's capable of. He's done these amazing roles. And I'm sure we're going to hear more of it later, but he goes into this beauty. It's not about making himself a whole human. It's about capturing the beauty of the sound. I'll play that intro short. We'll just play it again and get into it. Hesitant, shaky.
And wakes
Yeah, he is a homicidal creeper. You're right.
Silently the senses
Pure beauty.
Abandon their defense.
Ignore the hesitation. Ignore everything other than letting down your guard for the sake of beauty in this music.
Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender.
Now this grounded, beautiful baritone sound being compromised by the breathiness and intensity that he's adding is very reflective and invokes that obsessive nature of this character, that obsessive, creepy tendency that is, in the story, it can be read as being misinterpreted by the people around him. It creates this idea of fear, mostly because he's slinking around, but it's something that he's ashamed of that hides him from the light. And he invokes vocally very well.
Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling light, and listen to the music of the night.
Now, one thing I love about this show is the dichotomy that's involved. And I know I'm chopping it up so much. We'll go back and listen to it through the end of the chorus. But the dichotomy of that line, turn your face away from the garish light of day, turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling light. Cold and unfeeling is never really associated with light, but for this man, it is, because his face is literally a duality. His deformed on one side. His character, his personality is he's worshiping music, but he's forced himself to hide out of shame, right? He's picking not the prima donna, not the prima soprano, but he's picking like the second lady because he finds beauty in her voice instead of what the world finds beautiful in the lead soprano of the opera house. It's all about duality. We love duality here. We love contrast here. That's what makes symphonic metal so enjoyable to listen to in so many ways. So anyway, we'll end this first verse and listen through the first chorus.
Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling light, and listen to the music of the night. Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge your thoughts of the life you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar. And you'll live as you've never lived before.
All right, let's talk about what he's doing. He does a fantastic job of staying stylistically appropriate while going back and forth between chest voice and head voice. Now, musical theater of this generation is typically defined in the way that people use straight tone and then allow it to fall off into vibrato, a nice release tone at the end with tension at the beginning. That's exciting. We get tension and then release, tension and release. The way that he is doing this here, Ramin, is he's between phrases. He's not shifting registers in the phrase, but between phrases, he's shifting registers purely derived by the meaning of the text. So let's listen to this one real quick again. Nope. Here, pure chesty sound. He goes up into a little bit of, and then digs back in.
And surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge your thoughts of the life you
Belty,
knew
chesty.
Before.
Now pivot. Pure head voice. Not pure, but more head voice mix. Breath.
To soar.
That's a very, for you baritoners out there, that is a very difficult line to sing. To soar. Notice that he resets before it. He takes a breath, and then he goes to soar. The way you do it is not by focusing on making soar light. No. If you focus on making to lighter than soar will be, even if you want it to sound light. And notice the vowel he actually uses on soar. Ah. That time we didn't even hear the S. It's just ah. To soar. To soar. To soar. It's an ah, right? It's just an ah. That's how you do it. You have to release the pressure on the to.
And you'll live
Take that.
as you've never lived before. Softly, deftly, music shall surround you. Hear it, feel it, closing in around you. Open up your mind, let your fantasies unwind in this darkness which you know you cannot fight. The darkness of the music of the night.
So I wanted to do, because someone in chat just mentioned this, the fact that he has 2 microphones right here. You can see it. So when we are singing in our head voice, it literally resonates our head, right? When we are singing in chest voice, the sound is more prominent when we come out of, as on its way out of our mouth, right? My guess, my reasoning, now I don't sing with microphones often. I'm not used to the dynamics of microphones in a stage context. However, it makes sense that when he's singing notes like, now he's able to bring up a little more timbre than I do, because I'm used to singing overall more loud, and also he's freaking incredible. But when you're singing with that head voice resonance, that mic up there is going to pick it up better, because the sound is going to be resonating off of your body in this area. Whereas in chest voice, it literally, you feel it while you're in chest voice. It resonates down here and in here in this area. So he's a very what's the word? Sophisticated singer in that sense. He goes back and forth. And for a performance like Phantom of the Opera, you want to have a very sophisticated mixing system to make sure that all of the voice is being represented well through the whatever system they're projecting it through. Yeah, that's gross, That's Mick. But yeah, I mean, you got this mic here to capture the chest resonances, and then the moments, since he does such a good job at compartmentalizing when he's going to be in that head voice position and in the chest voice position, our audio engineer behind the scenes is most likely going to know when to switch, which mic more to the other, just to maximize the resonances going on. And they probably have something set up in terms of like an audio bus to when there's more of these resonances dominant in the sound is going to do this. When there's more of these, it's going to be elsewhere. Anyway, I think that's a good explanation for why he has 2 microphones there, just because you're going to have different sounds resonating in different places. And if you're going to head voice, it's not going to sound the same right here as chest voice sounds right here. So it's a really good way to literally use, compression and audio mixing is about bringing the sounds together. Now, this is another form of recording that mimics that idea of recording compression.
The darkness of the music of the night.
We've not used that.
Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Only then can you belong to me. Floating.
So one thing I love about this, maybe this is where our friend Dan Vask got it, right? But in this version, the way he approaches the full voice to be, he's doing a thing that we call hooking, which is something that is referred to. We'll get Milo treats after this. Dorkney's actually in a meeting right now, a work meeting, but I'll go get Milo after the song. Bay. A hook is when you use an a very flat, a flat vowel, or to compress the voice on a very high note. So it would be like, instead of doing to be, which creates a much more kind of forward sound, you want to keep the sound more round and even, and also help the voice relax more by using a vowel like or ah. To be. Notice it, and that's the difference, and that's kind of what hooking is. Not necessarily something we all usually do in classical technique, because it does limit the amount of overtones that you can use. Compression limits overtones, right? Compression is about increasing the fundamental through literal, tension in the vocal folds. It emphasizes the fundamental tone, but it reduces overtones. Now, if we were doing it operatically, we would sing it in a way that's more relaxed here. To be. Now, you probably can't get that super well over the mic, but what that mode of singing does is optimizes the way that the voice can project without amplification. Hooking is a way of making the sound very exciting and round and warm while utilizing compression. And that's what he does. It sounds exciting. You can't really hear the difference between be and b, especially when sung in that range, but it's done really, really well. So let's just hear it one more time.
A world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be.
Nice.
Only then can you
belong and be.
Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin. Let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the
You're not wrong, Wither. But the music's really good.
You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the
So beautiful. I would love to do the Phantom. I think my voice is a little high for it. But maybe when I'm older, my voice drops. That's how that works, right? Oh, man. On the B part, when you go straight tone for a couple seconds and then going to vibrato, is that normal? Yeah, so in this style of musical theater, this kind of contemporary musical theater, I guess it's not so contemporary anymore. Phantom's been around for like almost 30 years. But, or 20 years maybe, I don't remember. A while. Musical theater style is very typical to sing with the starting straight tone ending in vibrato. It's become very stylistic. It's a vocal tension and release idea. It makes every sustained note very exciting. B, something like that. That idea, very typical. Learning how to make straight tone happen without tensing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it takes practice understanding how to do straight tone, but in fact, vibrato is actually easier than straight tone. Vibrato, I mean, physically, maybe understanding it for your voice is maybe more difficult, but once you figure out how to do vibrato, it should anatomically be easier and take less energy than making straight tone. And I can explain that more in detail. That's like a Friday topic, though. Well, we'll see. I'll be back with my doggy and give him a treat. And you guys can come say hi to Milo.